So in the previous video, system of identical particles topic had been discussed. So now let's discuss the topic identical particles in classical mechanics and quantum mechanics. So identical particles can be described into two categories. That means you can classify identical particles into two categories. So they are nothing but distinguishable particles or indistinguishable or else indistinguishable particles. In classical mechanics, so let's study about distinguishable particles. In classical mechanics, when we have a system of identical particles, there is no problem to distinguish from one another. So the particles that we used to find in classical mechanics are known as distinguishable particles because we can distinguish them from one another. Whereas in quantum mechanics, the identical nature of particles makes it impossible to define precisely and to distinguish from one another. So, but in quantum mechanics, we cannot distinguish the particles. So, why that? So, let's discuss with the help of these examples. Distinguishable particles in classical mechanics. So, for these particles, we can give a tag or number to those particles, and we can give a color to the particles. We can easily follow their trajectory or path. So because of these reasons, these particles are distinguishable. So here the example is nothing but billiard balls or football, etc. like that. So billiard balls. So billiard balls is the game you might have seen. There will be four corners and there will be some balls arranged over here, some balls, and with the help of a stick we can knock out of these balls, and we have to set these balls into those corners. We have to make them fall into those corners. So these are nothing but billiard balls. So if you see a billiard balls, there will be numbering in those balls, 1 2 3 like that. So so that is nothing but we can give a number to the particles. So these all of these balls are of same size and shape. All are circular and they are all having same size. So they might be identical, but we are giving them numbers. So if all of these balls are black, if you consider, so black color first ball, black color second ball, black color eighth ball. So even though they are all having same size, shape, color, we can distinguish them with the help of these numbering tags. Or else, if the two balls are different colors, blue or red, so we can, or if they are of same numbers, then also we can distinguish these balls. Because of their numbering and color, we can distinguish these balls. So and also this ball will be having its own trajectory and this ball will be having its own trajectory. By following that trajectory, we can distinguish these two balls. So if you are having two same red color balls, so if you follow the trajectory of this ball and this one ball, that is the path that is following when a force is applied on it. So if you see the trajectory, you can easily distinguish this ball from this ball. So however, these two balls are not going to combine with each other and form a very big ball. So this ball will be having its own path and this ball will be having its own trajectory. So that's why we can distinguish particles in classical mechanics. Next we have indistinguishable particles in quantum mechanics. We cannot give a number or tag to the particles. We cannot give a color to the particles. We cannot follow their trajectory. And examples is nothing but electrons and protons and or neutrons. So in case of quantum mechanics, we cannot give color or tag to the particles. We cannot see their trajectory. Suppose particles, so electrons will be residing inside the atom, so nucleus. So this is some atom and this is its own electrons. Here one electron, some electrons will be revolving around the atom. So we cannot see this electron with our naked eye. So we can if in order to see anything we need to pass the light on that when with the help of light only we can see these particles. When the light is fall on that object, it gets reflected back. From by that reflected light we can observe any objects, but we cannot see electrons. They are very small, very small particles. So we cannot give numbering also to them. This is first electron, this is second electron. Even though if we give, we can't give numbering also. We cannot give color also to these electrons. They are residing inside atoms. We could not see those electrons, and we cannot follow their trajectory also. Even their trajectory also we cannot follow. So in quantum mechanics, we cannot decide the position of a particle exactly because of uncertainty principle, that is delta x into delta p must be greater than or equal to h cut by 2. So by this we cannot precisely say that this is the position of the electron. So but we can say, so we have a wave function for the electron. Actually electron will be moving in 3-dimensional space, and I am representing this wave as a 2-dimensional. But actually electrons will be revolving around the nucleus in 3 dimensions. So if we suppose for now, if we consider this is the wave function of electron, so it tells where the electron is available more. So it tells that our probability of availability of electron is more in this particular point. So we cannot find a particular position of the electron. So everything in classical mechanics goes with wave function of that particular particle. So this will be the wave function of first electron, and this will be the some other wave function of second electron. So when they are far away, okay. So when they come closer, the wave functions get overlapped, first electron and second electron, and finally we can't say after getting separation whether this is first electron's wave function or this is second electron's wave function. Here also whether this is first electron's wave function or second electron's wave function, because they have come close to each other and we cannot say so which function is which, because they are all identical. It's the wave function of this electron is identical, this is also identical. So we cannot distinguish which wave function belongs to which. So this is nothing but identical particles in quantum mechanics. Because of this overlapping of this wave function and their identical nature, we cannot distinguish them. So particles in identical particles in quantum mechanics are indistinguishable. Next, in quantum mechanics, identical particles are divided into two main classes. So again in quantum mechanics, these identical particles are again divided into two main classes based on their spin. This classification applies to fundamental particles as well as to composite particles. Fundamental particles is nothing but so fundamental particles means just like electrons, like that. So they are all they are nothing but fundamental particles. But composite particles is nothing but helium atom. It is made up of neutrons, protons, electrons, like that. Atoms, hydrogen atom, it is made up of proton, electron, like that, many particles. So that is regarding composite particle. But fundamental particle means just like electron, positron, like that. And bosons. So classification, bosons, all the particles with integral spin are called bosons. So the particles which are having integral spins, that means integer numbers, not negative integers, only positive integers along with 0, 1, 2, 3 are called bosons. They represent symmetric wave function, for example Higgs boson. So all the bosons will have symmetric wave function, and for example Higgs boson, the only particle has 0 spin. So Higgs boson is the particle which has 0 spin. For one we have photon, gluon, W plus or minus boson. So photon, light carrying particle, and gluon inside the nucleus, which helps for strong nuclear force. And this is also some bosons. So for spin 2 particles we have graviton particle. However, fundamental particles having spin are not yet known. And next thing is, here we have a definition for spin. Spin value tells after which angle of rotation the wave function returns to itself. So 2 pi by spin is nothing but angle. So it's like, so if there is a ball, I have a ball. If I make a dot on this ball, now I have made dot on this ball. If I rotate this ball uh, after 360 degrees, again I can find the ball with dot. So I have to rotate it by 2 pi, that is 360 degrees. If I rotate like this, again I will get the same ball with the dot. That means now this ball, this is initial state of ball and final state of ball is this. So after revolving, to how much degrees I have to make to it to revolve, rotate, so that I can get the final state equals to initial state. So this is it looks appear just as it was before. So I have to rotate it by 360 degrees. In the same way, wave function also, if it wants to appear again the same after by rotating some angle, so that which angle, that means if it is 2 pi by pi radians after 180 degrees, if it gets the same form, then the spin will be 2. In if after rotating 2 pi degrees, spin will be 1. Or else if we have to rotate to 4 pi degrees, then we'll get spin half. So like that. So this is nothing but spin. So after how much angle we have to rotate the wave function, that means we have to change the angle so that we get initial wave functions. So that is nothing but spin. So spin half particles has to be rotated to 4 pi radians, and spin 2 particles have to be rotated to pi radians to get to the original position or original form. And next is helium-3 with 2 protons, 2 electrons and 1 neutron has overall a spin of 1/2, making it a fermion. So in helium we have 2 protons, 2 electrons and 1 neutron. So protons are also spin half particles. So if we add them, we'll get an integer. Add or subtract them, we get integer. And if we add or subtract the spins of electrons, we get an integer. But we have 1 neutron will get remained. It is a spin half particle. That's why we'll be having helium-3 atom with spin 1/2. Whereas in the case of helium-4 atom, 2 protons, 2 neutrons, 2 electrons will be there. So this is half particle, this is also spin half particle, this is also spin half particle. So all together we'll get, if we add or subtract, we'll get used to get an integral number, and has an overall spin of 0, making it boson. So if the spins are get cancelled out, plus half, minus half, less half, minus half, like that, we'll finally get 0, which is an integral spin. So within this forms of helium atom, we are getting fermion. So helium-3 is nothing but a fermion and helium-4 is nothing but a boson. Next, so fermions, just I have said here. So all the particles which are having half odd integral spin are nothing but fermions. They represent antisymmetric wave function. So they are all spin half particles. Bosons are integral spin particles and fermions are half spin particles. For example, all material particles, example electrons, protons, neutrons, leptons, etc. have spin half. However, particle with spin 3/2 is hypothetical particle. If it exists, it's called a gravitino. So all the matter is made up of, all the matter surrounding matter atoms are made up of electrons, protons, neutrons. So the matter is made up of these subatomic particles. So all these subatomic particles have half spins. So these are nothing but fermions. That is the thing we have discussed here. So 2 protons, 2 neutrons, 2 electrons. So protons, electrons, neutrons come under the category of spin half particles. So that's the thing. And here fermions will have antisymmetric wave function. Hence here the spin is parallel and anti-parallel spins. Here the particles are having anti-parallel spins, and bosons are symmetric wave function. They have symmetric wave function. Hence all the spins are parallel. So let us finally draw a tree diagram defining these identical particles. So identical particles can be classified into 2 categories, that is in classical mechanics, identical particles in classical mechanics, and identical particles in quantum mechanics. So identical particles in classical mechanics are distinguishable, and the example for them is billiard balls or footballs, like that. Billiard balls, footballs, or caroms, that also you can say. And for quantum mechanics, again we find a classification, that is particles with integral spin and particles with half odd integral spins. So integral spin particles are nothing but bosons, and half integral spins are nothing but fermions. And the example for bosons is photons, gluons. This help for exchanging energies or forces between the particles. And example for fermions is electrons, protons, neutrons, etc., like that. So matter is made up of fermions. So that is the thing. So this is regarding uh, identical particles in classical mechanics and quantum mechanics.